Dr. Jaime Elia, and today I'm going to talk about kitten care. Congratulations on getting a new kitten. They are lots of fun and very entertaining.
Dr. Elia, what supplies do I need for a new kitten?
Supplies for a new kitten would include food, bowls, water bowls, toys, treats, a cat carrier that they become comfortable with, a bed, a scratching post would be a great idea.
How do I kitten-proof my home?
The best way to kitten-proof your home is actually to get down on all fours and get down at their level, because kittens are small. Look behind things, look under things, look at all the things that they could play with, because anything could be a toy to a kitten, especially power cords and electrical receptacles, dust bunnies, food, things that you've dropped that you might not know are missing.
What is the best diet for a growing kitten?
Best diet for a growing kitten would be kitten food. Sometimes they will come to you having already been started on food, and I suggest continuing that if they like it and they're doing well on it. If not, we can make suggestions based on the kitten and their lifestyle for either dry or canned food. Sometimes a balance of the two is a good idea.
How often should I feed my kitten?
Kittens will act like little bottomless pits. They will forget that you fed them after you just fed them. I do suggest feeding very young kittens, like about 8 to 12 weeks, maybe 3 to 4 times a day. Sometimes when they're about 12 to 16 weeks, I would suggest decreasing to 3 times a day. And as they get older, you could try phasing out and feeding them just twice a day.
When should I take my kitten to the vet for the first time?
We'd recommend taking your kitten to the vet for the first time within about 24 to 48 hours of obtaining them, especially if something doesn't seem right, or if you have a health guarantee. If they seem nice and healthy, or there's no health guarantees, you might be able to take them after you've had them for a week or so.
What shots does a kitten need and when?
Kittens usually need vaccines every 3 to 4 weeks until they're 14 to 16 weeks old.
How do I litter train my kitten?
That's easy. Most kittens come litter trained already. It seems to be very innate to them to scratch and find some place to bury their pee and their poop. However, if they're not given a litter box or a place to go, they might try to use your plants or a rug. I do suggest in the beginning keeping a kitten confined to a smaller room and letting them out on a regular basis, but that way they have their food, water, and litter box all in one spot, and they get used to being able to go there. It'd be really hard for a little 8-week-old kitten to be 2 floors away from their litter box and be able to make it there when they have to go potty.
What are common health issues in kittens?
Common health issues in kittens are internal parasites. They might end up having some diarrhea or an upset stomach from that. Upper respiratory infections are very common in kittens, and you might notice them sneezing or some discharge from their nose. And eye infections are also very common in kittens, and you might notice some discharge from their eyes, or they might be keeping their eyes shut or squinting. They can also get ear infections and come with fleas.
How do I socialize my kitten properly?
Kittens are typically social animals, and they're very curious. So if they seem like they're a little shy, you could help them become a little more outgoing by playing with them with toys like the fishing pole toys that can kind of lure them out from under spaces they might be hiding in, or feed them treats and hold and pet them to get them used to your affection.
What is the best way to introduce my kitten to other pets?
I would recommend a slow introduction. Keeping the kitten in a cat carrier where they could be protected but see everybody would be a good idea. That allows the other pets to walk around and sniff and realize they're there. Keeping them confined in a smaller room like a bathroom or a laundry room with a door that can shut is also a good idea. They get used to one space, and that can be their safe space when they're not sure what's going on. And then you could allow some interactions between the other pets in the house and your new kitten, but only after they've been deemed healthy by a veterinarian. You wouldn't want your new kitten to give an older cat an upper respiratory infection or an internal parasite by sharing a litter box.
How often should I groom my kitten?
Most kittens are self-grooming. It's kind of the great thing about them. They usually will groom themselves and clean themselves regularly, but getting them used to brushing and combing is a good idea, as well as getting them used to nail trims.
What type of toys are best for kittens?
Anything you think of, the sky's the limit for kitten toys. Rolled up pieces of paper can be great, all the way to fancy electronic toys or laser pointers that they like to chase and run after, as well as toys that move on their own, or they can hunt and look for food or bat around treat balls that dispense treats.
How do I handle kitten teething and biting behaviors?
Sometimes it's best to have some soft toys that you could put by the kitten once they start getting a little rambunctious, and see if they'll redirect and jump on those, or bunny kick, or scratch on those things, or grab onto them with their teeth and leave your fingers and toes alone.
When should I start flea and tick prevention for my kitten?
Starting flea and tick prevention can be age dependent, and also size dependent. So I would leave that on a case-by-case basis for your veterinarian.
How do I ensure my kitten gets enough exercise?
That's the great thing about kittens, is they pretty much are self-exercising. They usually will run like crazy around a house. They might climb and chase things, and chase or climb things they're not supposed to. So they are self-exercising, but you can always encourage more play for them to get extra exercise.
What are signs of a healthy kitten?
Signs of a healthy kitten would be a playful kitten who is very curious and interactive, might even be a little mischievous and get themselves into trouble. They're also one that eats regularly and might even look for more food.
When should I spay or neuter my kitten?
Usually recommend spaying and neutering kittens around 6 months of age. We would like to try to catch a female cat before they go into heat. And male cats, we want to make sure that they are not spraying or peeing outside the litter box.
How do I care for a kitten with special needs or health conditions?
Caring for a kitten with special needs or health conditions really depends on the health conditions that they have. Some kittens with upper respiratory infections might need their nose to be cleaned or their eyes to be cleaned. They might need medications. Those with ear infections might need their ears cleaned out regularly and medications put in there as well.
What should I do if my kitten has diarrhea or vomiting?
If your kitten has diarrhea or vomiting, I would recommend taking them to the veterinarian for an exam and a weight check, taking a stool sample to make sure that they don't have internal parasites, because that can be a very common cause of diarrhea or vomiting in kittens.
How can I create a safe and comfortable sleeping area for my kitten?
Kittens are very happy to sleep almost anywhere, but if you provide a little bed or a soft area for them, sometimes with a little safe, pet safe heating pad, or an area in a sunny spot, that might be a place they gravitate towards.
If you have any questions about kitten care, give us a call at 973-691-1771.